Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is Bully, a crime film from 2001. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on Max Go or to rent on all the major streaming services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot.
Welcome to Screen Riot, the podcast where we review movies chosen entirely by fate. If you're having difficulties finding movies to watch, then this is the podcast for you. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and alongside me are co-hosts Eddie, Kyle, and John. And each week, one of us spins the wheel of fate, and the host must pick any movie from that genre. If you'd like to see all the movies that we've reviewed so far and how they've ranked, visit ScreenRiot.net and have a look at the movie ratings page. At the end of the show, we'll spin and see what next week's movie is going to be so that you can follow along at home. Also, while you're at ScreenRiot.net, make sure to head over to the support page to see all the different ways you can help support the show. So like Eddie said in the opening, we were taking a look at a 2001 movie called Bully. It's 1 hour, 48 minutes long, unless you watch the uncut version, which is what we did, which is 1 hour and 53 minutes long, I believe,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it is rated TVMA, according to IMDb. Unrated is maybe more.
I mean, I think... I don't personally think the extra 5 minutes really adds or takes away from anything.
Absolutely
not.
It doesn't. No.
It wasn't 100% necessary for the overall film. But
You mean
No.
it didn't make the story more clear?
No,
No?
not at all.
I thought the story was incredibly clear, John, but let's wait until Justin's ready for that before we dive face deep into this one. You know what I mean? Let's take our time.
So this was directed by Larry Clark, and he's done some other movies. So he's done his breakout role, or breakout film, I guess you could say, is a 1995 movie called Kids. And then he did Bully. Then he did Ken Park from 2002. And then he did, I don't know, I was looking through all of his stuff. I've seen a few of his movies. They are all the same to me. They're all about teenage kids who have aloof parents, and they just get high and drunk and have sex.
Cool.
And that's all of his movies.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, let me say this real fast. I think that oversimplifies that, but go ahead.
Sure. Because we know what Kids is about. We talked a little bit about it earlier. His other movie, Ken Park, is about skaters who do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then the Smell of Us, we were talking about a little bit before this. It's about, it literally says in the description, about a teenage group of guys with tight pants. Is what it literally says as a description. So, yeah.
Okay, let me just address one small piece. So I agree with you that the backdrop is group of teenagers, drugs, sex, etc., especially with the aloof parents piece. But the stories are pretty vastly different. Kids has nothing to do with, like, for instance, this movie has nothing to do with it. Like the whole notion of Kids is the AIDS epidemic and sort of the downfall of a whole generation based around loose parenting and even looser morals in New York City during the early part of the 90s. So I mean there's definitely a theme. I agree with you that he's kind of in his whatever time light blue period teenager
he has
period.
Director trademarks.
Yes, that's definitely true. But the overall actual guts of the story are vastly different.
Yeah. So I typically do an Oscars segment, so...
Sorry, that was... okay, anyway.
Well, this was
did it win anything?
This was obviously not in the Oscars, so we can save time talking about that.
It's definitely not our first film that hasn't been in the Oscars.
No,
I give you
for
that.
sure.
No, I picked most of them, so go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You had a question, Justin?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I feel great. How about you guys?
I'm okay. I'm just going back on the drive over here to the podcast studio.
Yes, we have a studio.
It sounds far more impressive than it is.
Yeah.
Although
we use your big boy voice.
We do have nice couches. I will say that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about all the movies that we have watched that were Eddie picks.
Yes.
This one, the latest, obviously.
Yep.
Before this was
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember actually.
Yeah.
But The Dark.
Yes. Ghostland.
Yeah. Incident in Ghostland, that's the other one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
And then The Skin I Live In.
Yeah. Skin I Live In's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just want to make sure you're okay. Were you? Did you have a happy childhood?
No.
Okay.
No, definitely didn't.
It shows.
But this movie is I see. Okay, so here's the thing. I pick movies based on interesting things as opposed to just easy watches. So like this, the interesting part of this movie to me is that it's a true story.
Yeah, because when I went into this, I didn't realize this was a true story.
Exactly. And I've had people like dog the shit out of this movie, like it's completely unrealistic. Kids don't just sit around having sex and drugs and blah blah blah. And I'm like, it's a fucking true story. And most of the script is actually written from court documents. Everything that took place, like the murder scene and all that, was literally described by multiple people who were at the scene. Mm-hmm. So exactly the way he died, who stabbed first, in what in what order, etc. That's from court documentation. I was
pretty impressed how true to life the movie was.
Yeah, it's definitely no hidden figures.
No. We were talking earlier. And I said, I typically do research, after I see that a movie is based on a true story, which I did not do with Hidden Figures, and I am very, very ashamed that I did not do with that film.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that this was a true story. I heard that it was based on a true story, but I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, okay.
About the story.
Yeah.
Until I saw this and I started doing a little bit of research. The actual crime took place in 1993.
Yeah, which is the biggest difference in the movie, is that the year is different.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference.
The only thing
was a point.
I remember, right?
Yeah, it was just to avoid anachronisms,
yes,
basically.
Yeah. Because, the cars that are on the road, and Larry Clark is, he's kind of like the Ed Wood of our generation.
You're kind of right.
In a weird way.
Agree.
Yeah, like he's into like pirating, or not pirating, what's it called? Guerrilla movie making.
Yeah,
so he goes out with a handheld, which I do have a complaint about for this movie. Mm-hmm. But he goes out with a handheld. He doesn't close down streets. It's basically just, is that Nick Stahl and Brad Renfro driving a car? Yes, it is. And the guy next to him hanging out the window is Larry Clark. That's basically how he does
Which
this movie.
he's in this movie.
Is he really? I didn't know that. Where's he at?
Well, I first noted when I was watching the movie, the hitman's dad.
Yeah.
That's Larry.
Oh, no shit.
Him in the front yard.
Yeah.
And then he's a little bit later, he's like shirtless in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's Larry Clark.
Gotcha. He's disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. Then again, he did climb up into Bijou Phillips' legs at least a couple times.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, let's talk about that.
We can.
Well, that was
right
part of the unrated version of it, and it was just like she was getting her nails done, her toenails done, and talking on the phone with what's her name, Lisa.
Yeah.
And it was just a random shot, like between her legs, and I'm like, wow, okay,
so,
why?
So most of them, I agree
Why?
with you. So most of the sex scenes in this movie don't bother me because they're meant to show that what was really taking place in this group of kids who were all either being raped and or like apparently having sex just out of their minds and high and everything else. What was really taking place was that they were trying to show that there was a culture being built that wasn't necessarily rooted in reality, but was rooted in this notion of just pleasure giving and or being tortured by what's his name? Bobby. Yeah, the guy who gets killed.
Bobby Trent.
There you go. So that's why they're trying to do it. So for most of the movie, Kent. Thank you. Yeah, for most of the movie, the sex scenes, I'm like, whatever. It just doesn't bother me, right? The shot with Bijou Phillips and with the nail thing, that I have no reason for that shot.
It was just gratuitous.
That one at all. Yeah.
No, yeah. Exactly. Well, it was like, okay, I was good all the way up to that, and you gone too far.
And it was on there like very, very short. And
it kind
of caught me off guard. I'm like, wait a minute, what was that?
Was that a vagina?
Well, no, wait a minute.
Instant replay.
Been a while?
Well, no.
Instant replay.
It's
instant replay.
No. But I realized, I first said, what the hell was that? What was that for?
Yeah, there wasn't a reason.
And then I was like, okay, anyway, carry on. Like,
no, that scene bothers me because I don't like superfluous extra scenes for no reason. I also was bothered, like typically I like his handheld style. Like in Kids, I really like how he shot kids, right?
It's like all handheld.
It's all 100% handheld, right? But with this movie, I like most of the angles. I like the shooting across the street as she's like crossing over the highway and stuff. I like all those angles. Although there's like
I didn't.
I was say
I didn't. It looked like a high school film.
It did.
Oh, see, what I liked about it was that it felt gritty, but it's fine. The one shot I really didn't like was whenever you have, I think, everybody who's going to be in the murder group, and he's literally spinning in a circle over and over. I'm like, fucking stop! You're making me
I just
nauseous.
imagine Larry Clark standing on a Lazy Susan.
I think
It's
it was.
spinning around in a
I don't even think it was that
Spin
good.
me
I think he was just
faster.
stepping in a circle and filming them. I don't know. It was
I had to look away.
Yeah.
During that because I started to feel woozy.
Yeah.
During that. But it reminds me of in my younger days being in a stupor, like a drunken stupor, and you're trying to listen to 5 or 6 people talking in a conversation, but you're just out of your mind. You can't focus on it, and when you try to look at them, it is swishy.
Yes.
Like that. So it kind of reminds me of that early teenage rebellious drunkenness state.
I could see that. Yeah.
I just remember texting Justin when I was watching that scene. I was like, good Lord, this fake ass Tarantino circle shot about to make me puke.
So it's funny you say Tarantino because that's actually what this movie reminds me of is Reservoir Dogs.
No.
The grittiness of the filmmaking, the shittiness of the filmmaking. Reservoir Dogs is not shot in an amazing fashion.
There's
in
a
most
lot
their
of
scenes.
wide shots that should be closer.
And that's what whenever she's like crossing over the highway and
Yes.
stuff, that's what it reminds me of. So it's interesting that you would say Tarantino because that's exactly where I was going to go was Reservoir Dogs. Like you guys are like, oh, I don't like it. I'm like, well, how do you feel about Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
He actually had a tripod and some dollies, but this one was
Okay.
horrible.
I disagree. But
Because
it's fine.
Tarantino can make interesting dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah, so the dialogue in this is not great. But again, it's rooted in most of these kids. So another complaint. By the way.
278 F-bombs.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
It's
Seriously.
it's still
Well,
not the
fuck me.
most. It's still not the most on film. What's
No,
the most on film?
Like 316.
Well, I know
something
it's,
like that.
yeah.
And what was Django Unchained?
It was Django.
Django Unchained. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, Tarantino again. Yeah. What I was going to say though was the another anachronism that takes place is that Allie in this movie anyway. Allie Bijou Phillips appears to be like maybe 20, but it's weird because there's a couple of different pieces of dialogue that take place where Lisa says something about Bobby graduating high school and being the one who go off to college and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, he was 20. He's already graduated high school. He just got done telling Allie a couple minutes
got
ago.
like 4 more hours.
He's
of
got 4
credits
more,
or something.
and then he graduates college.
Right.
What the fuck is she talking about?
Yeah, who knows?
So-
Yeah, that was kind of confusing to me too because I couldn't really nail down how old these kids were supposed to be.
Donnie's the only one that 100% they represent him correctly. He says what age he's supposed to be. And Marty.
And Donnie is the large kid, right?
No, that was Derek.
Oh, Derek.
Yeah,
Okay.
Donnie's-
Donnie was the one that was high all the time.
He was
okay.
the 17-year-old
The annoying
whose
kid.
mom is
Michael
getting ready
Pitt.
who's getting ready to plan his 18th birthday. Him and Marty, they do represent their ages the right way the whole time. And in the real story, Marty was a high school dropout who was a burnout. The interesting thing, by the way, for this, I liked how they represented their parents because both sets of parents in the actual real life story looked at the other kid as the problem.
Yeah, I did notice
Which I thought was
Which is-
interesting.
that sounds like it's a typical.
it's a one-sided
Finger
thing.
pointing thing.
You know, they only see one side of the street.
Yeah, but
And who knows what stories the kids are telling?
Yeah,
their
to
parents.
cover up.
well, we watched Bobby fucking lie his ass off to Marty, but what I thought was interesting about that was the way that they showed it was very. I mean, again, I just like that they show it in such a normal way. Like it doesn't come across like these kids aren't like demons. They're a bunch of fuck happy teenagers. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're just normal kids who are doing a shit ton of drugs, but
Yeah.
beyond that, fairly normal kids, and yet they went down this extreme route. Do you know?
I know what the problem is.
Go ahead.
It's the rap music.
No,
No.
yeah.
Kids listening to the rap.
That rap
You-
music and the kids smoking the marijuana cigarettes.
The first 6 minutes of this movie has 6 different rap songs.
I have no doubt. The first 56 seconds, he says, "Suck my dick" or something, and lick my balls. And the
Yeah.
first 56 to 60 seconds of the movie.
Wow,
Yeah.
shocker.
Pretty
It's the
extreme.
first dialogue of the movie.
It's fairly
like,
extreme.
okay, this is how this movie is going
Yeah.
to go.
Talking about real life, by the way, did you guys find out? So at the end of the movie, the very end credits, it shows how many years they all got.
Right.
Things. So Marty was given the electric chair and all that stuff. So all of them ended up appealing their sentences.
Right.
Right. Did you guys find out what they were reduced to?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them were extreme. It was like it went from like life in prison to 6 years. That's crazy.
They were just kids.
Well, no. What happened is that they said they actually were able to make the argument because apparently in the original trial they weren't able to make the argument that Bobby,
Yeah, Bobby.
yeah,
Bobby
that
Kent.
Bobby, that Bobby was a bully.
Right.
They weren't allowed to present all the evidence, and whenever it was all said and done, they were like, actually, he raped 2 of the girls in the group. He beat the shit out of at least 2 of the guys in the group. I mean, like, there was quite a bit of evidence that the guy was actually a giant asshole. That was the bigger problem.
Yeah, they basically made some lenient instances. Yeah, because he's as far as I know, what's his name? Marty.
Yeah.
He's still in prison, as far as I know.
Till 2022.
Oh, okay, that's when he gets
What?
out.
Next year?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He's supposed to be, he's eligible for parole in 2022. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's see if they'll make the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's commuted to life in prison with parole eligibility occurring in 25 years. So, yeah, so 20, because that was 97?
97, yeah.
Oh, wow, that happened. Okay, so this happened...
93.
93.
93, okay.
And it just took so long to get to court.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they were...
He was originally sentenced in 95.
Yes, and then 2 years later, they appealed. And that's when he got 25 years from the electric... I mean, originally in 95, we're going to fry you in the chair, and then it dropped down to, never mind, just 25 years.
Yeah, it's quite a change.
I wouldn't mind watching like a documentary or something about this whole...
You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, documentaries about this kind of stuff is up my alley, but the actual, I don't know, the narrative versions of this kind of stuff, I'm like, doesn't really need to be done. This movie didn't really need to be made as it was.
I don't know.
No, I think it should be made. It's just I don't think it was done in the right manner. Though.
Right. I mean, this kind of stuff that you're based off of true story or whatnot, or this is true. All of it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a narrative piece should fit this type of movie or this type of crime.
I mean, like I did like the actual murder scene.
Yes, that scene was nice.
I liked that, and I thought that was shot pretty well.
About 40 minutes from the end of the movie gets good.
That's where I think it should have started. Like this is a documentary. If it started, was it? I think I looked at the time code, and it was right at the middle when they said, "I think we should kill Bobby."
Well, the murder scene happens at like on the uncut version somewhere around like an hour 23 or something.
Yeah,
it's like
so they really needed to wrap this stuff up.
It wraps
really
up really quickly after that.
Well, there was 30 minutes still of the movie after that, so I mean, not too quickly, but I'm with you.
Well, they wasted about an hour and a half of just fucking.
Yeah.
Well, the problem,
driving around high on acid.
The problem there is they had to introduce all the characters that were involved with the murder.
There's seven murderers.
Yeah, you got 7 murderers. Then you have to say, okay, well, in a movie form, if I'm going to sit down and watch it, okay, well, why are they going to kill this guy? Well, you have to show the audience
kind of live through it.
Well, exactly. Yeah. You have to show Allie getting raped.
Yeah.
You have to show the abuse that Bobby was inflicting on Marty.
Right, because you're supposed to sympathize with these people.
Yeah.
Which is what I was going to say, that this movie does for me anyway. This movie does a really good job of making me feel bad for the murderers. Like, I feel really bad for them. I'm like...
I don't feel anything for them.
I was going to say, everybody besides Donnie, to me, were so alike in characters that none of them... I can't tell you who is who. Like, besides... I know Lisa, just because she was the girlfriend of... Marty.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you the other people's names.
Well, like Allie, that's the only...
You didn't watch it close enough then, bro.
Allie...
I love you a lot, but there's no way. I'm listening. Allie,
I guess I was tuned out.
I'm with you.
She's the only one I kind of
Bijou
felt bad
Phillips?
for.
Allie?
Yeah. I felt bad for her.
For getting raped?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understood her timeline and all that kind of stuff of why she's wanting to, kill Bobby.
I felt pretty bad for Marty, but...
The only one I feel bad for Marty because of the life that he had to live through.
Yeah, 14 plus years. Of being tortured.
Just the notion that his way out of an abusive friendship is to, Mom and Dad, you have to move.
Yeah,
you have to move. If he's already resorted to that, well, that gives you a sense of his inability to think through problems.
Yes.
And then to go from okay, we have to get out of here to okay, let's kill him.
Yeah.
No problem. He doesn't have an issue with it.
So in the actual real life story, Lisa, just like she was in the movie, Lisa was the one who actually initiated that. Marty didn't come up with it. When they met at Pizza Hut, Marty wasn't actually at that meeting.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
He was never there. So it's really, Lisa was really the mastermind. Lisa's the one who took Marty out of that situation in a lot of ways, like got him out of that. And I definitely feel bad for Marty.
And she's out.
Oh, is she already?
Yeah, she got out in 2004. She had her.
Well, if you happen to be listening, Lisa, we do like you.
She had
by the way,
her.
so don't.
She had her life in prison without the possibility of parole overturned on appeal. And the court found that it was an unduly harsh sentence and reduced it to 22 years.
And again, it was because she'd been raped multiple times.
No, not Lisa.
No,
was Lisa.
Lisa had
Oh,
been raped too.
she'd been raped by Bobby.
Yeah.
You see, and I don't understand why they didn't show that. If they're able to show Allie getting raped,
Yeah.
why didn't they actually show her? Because that would make sense on why Lisa was actually wanting to initiate the killing.
It's weird that they didn't show it. They alluded to it, but they
Yes.
never showed it.
Right.
Yeah.
There was that one
Yeah.
scene where I think it was Marty and Lisa were having sex, and then all of a sudden Bobby comes in and then smacks him, and then
Well, it's not- he-
her off, and he's just like,
he-
he's like, my turn.
He whips her with a weight belt.
Yeah.
With a
Like a wrestling.
Yeah.
No, it's like a weightlifter's back support belt.
Yeah.
He like whips her with that. So there's I agree
And then
with you.
and then it cut to black, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is, tastefully done. If they're actually no, seriously,
Finally, like something was tastefully done.
compared to the rest of this fucking movie, that's what I would expect. How you would cut through the crap
I'll say this.
without actually showing.
But
it.
that
just
scene wasn't
disagree.
even clear to me because I thought, that Bobby raped
Marty?
Marty.
So here's the thing about that, and
Filming time.
Well, no, here's the thing about that.
Well, because we've already established that.
There's some gay sex stuff happening.
Yeah,
and they like to film it too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do on their off time, apparently.
Well, yeah, and so here's what's weird is that Marty apparently has never come out and said that Bobby did anything with him, which if considering Bobby's dead, why would you, right? Like your life doesn't get easier if you admit to have been raped over X number of years. But they alluded to it really hard in this movie. I mean, between the dad like having that weird moment in the bathroom with Bobby.
Yeah.
With Bobby, right? Yeah, with
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah.
And then there's the gay porn stuff. There's the guy that they picked up, I guess, and filmed. All
Or
that
he's
shit.
whoring him out, basically.
Well, and then he's whoring out Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff, though, is true. And Marty apparently said on the record, he's like, I've never done anything physical with any of these guys, but, Bobby wanted me to talk to them on the phone, and he, I danced at this club one time. I mean, there's a
Right.
lot of psychological fucking torture that this guy went through.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about the father scene with Bobby.
Fucking weird scene. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I could think of that they did that was to subtly allude that Bobby was being molested by his father.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
But we don't know if that is true or not.
Well, no, his dad's never confirmed it.
Okay.
Right.
So it's basically why else? Like, where did this sudden interest, and why the fuck is Bobby such a? Because I mean, he wasn't a dick to just one dude. Like, he was a dick to a whole group of. He terrorized a whole group of people
Right.
for years. You know what I'm saying? Well, at least a year with that group. But then Marty, I mean, he terrorized these people he terrorized a kid for 14 plus years.
Yeah, I just thought that was the filmmaker's way of basically subtly saying this is how our antagonist became this way.
Yeah.
Because basically in the scene, Bobby's naked after just having sex or raping one of the girls.
Allie.
It was raping Allie.
And then the father comes in and just starts talking about how he's gonna get him a stereo and tinting shop and all this stuff, and he's just naked and it's like casual, like it happens like every day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I have a dad. I don't do that.
Yeah, I was about to
No,
say
yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that.
No. No, not at all.
Nope.
With the acting in this film, Lisa's acting really just drove me up the wall.
Yeah, it's not great.
I mean, she was just like, hey guys, all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm pregnant, guys.
Okay, was that the girl that hid in the backseat of the car during the
No,
murder?
that was Heather.
No.
That was Heather. Okay. See, yeah, I can't keep him straight.
Which I kind of felt bad for her because she was just kind of like there for the ride. She escaped rehab and she's just like,
But
what else am I gonna do?
she did nothing to stop it.
That's the
No.
thing. She's involved.
She
I
did
mean,
nothing
yeah.
to stop
Well, they're
it,
all
but she didn't
accomplices.
do it.
Yes.
And of the sentences, she got the least.
Yeah, wasn't it like 4 years?
7
or
years.
something? 7
7
years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
7
she was out in
years.
2.
Well, I like how
How long was she out?
It's 7 years. She did her whole term.
Oh, did she really? Okay,
Yeah,
I
she
thought
was released
got
in
out.
'98.
Gotcha.
I like how Allie, it was like, okay, well, what was her name?
No, hold on. She was released in '98.
Heather. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was sentenced in '95, so she was only in for 3 of the 7.
Okay, well, that's not what this says. But
Oh, okay. Because they killed him in '93, so had they immediately done the sentence, it would still only be. What'd you say? '98? That would only still be 5.
Unless it was time served before.
Yeah, probably was.
Yeah, but
Probably including time served. Yeah, but they were arrested in '93.
in
Yeah.
July of
But
'93.
if they're convicted in '95, well, that's 2 years of time served. So
Yeah.
Yeah, plus the okay.
your sentence
I see what
starts
you're
whenever
saying.
you're first arrested. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
But-
that I
sorry.
know about this kind of thing.
I mean,
He was a juror for a couple times.
rural juror. What were
He
you
knows
saying?
his way around sewers.
Well, I just thought it was kind of funny when the little montage at the very end of showing, their time, their sentence time, and it's like, okay, so Heather got 7. I was like, okay, then Marty got 10 or something like, or
No,
not
Derek.
Marty, Derek got 10 or something like that, and then Allie 40.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? She didn't even do anything.
That
Yeah,
ramped
well,
up.
She was the driver.
Yep.
well,
That's why.
I guess conspiracy.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they all got charged with conspiracy.
She was charged with second-degree murder.
Yeah, because she was the driver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't be the
yeah.
driver. That's the bad
Yeah.
one. I will say
40
this.
40 years imprisonment and 40 years probation.
So you can
She's
help.
still on probation.
Reduced to 17 years on appeal, but she is still on probation.
So you can help dispose of the body, but not drive people to it.
Apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
part of that. Well,
You
part
get life
of
for
that.
that.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that Derek
Oh, that's right.
only
Subvert
got
the
11 years was because him and
Heather.
both turned evidence.
They cut a deal.
Oh, gotcha.
They cut a
Yeah,
deal,
yes.
and in fact, in real life, Lisa, which was the girlfriend, Marty's girlfriend, Justin, she told her mom. Her mom didn't find out, through a phone conversation. She told her mom. Her mom went to her sister's, Derek's mom. They went and they actually went to their brother's house or brother-in-law, like the sister's brother-in-law's house or something, because he had friends in the police department, and he's like yeah, let's go there, and that's how those two actually are the ones who came forward.
That's crazy. So there's 2 Dereks, by the way. Derek Kaufman, which is the mafia hitman
Oh, is
guy.
that was his real name? Derek?
Derek Kaufman.
Okay.
And then there's Derek Saverculo or something. He's the cousin. He's the chubby cousin.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So they're both named Derek.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he's just labeled in here as the Hitman.
Hitman. Yeah.
Because his name is Derek.
Yeah.
And they
Okay.
thought it was going to be confusing going, Derek, which one of us? Derek, Derek. Derek,
Hey.
Doctor.
Well,
doctor,
at least the 2
doctor.
Dereks carried the body, so that's pretty
The
interesting.
hitman needs a ride,
Yes, he does.
This has got to be the worst hitman I have ever heard of.
Right?
right?
This is the Florida hitman.
Well, you do
This
realize,
is
by
the
the way,
Florida man.
Florida man hitman.
Florida man hitman.
you do realize that he wasn't a real hitman.
Well, yeah, but now hold on. The funny thing is, though, to me,
Yeah.
if you look at this guy in real life, he had a mullet
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
They should have
they should've
kept that mullet.
Yeah, if they really wanted to make fun
They
of us
gave him
Floridians.
they gave him a little bit of one. He had a little baby mullet there.
I mean, if you go pay a hitman and he goes, cool, you want me to kill this person? Cool. Drive me.
I can't get a gun.
Bring me weapons.
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh yeah.
A
You're going to
baseball
help.
bat?
Here's the difference, though. You're not 4 17-year-olds and a kid who is apparently so high that he has like smoked his brain out of his fucking body. Like Marty in real life was a burnout, like a heavy burnout, and him and Bobby, neither one looked like Brad Renfro or Nick Stahl in a lot of ways. They were both bodybuilders. They were both hooked on anabolic steroids.
Well, Bobby Kent was Iranian.
Yes, that's true too. Yeah, I didn't like that they white breaded him once I found that out. But he was a fairly light skinned Iranian American. I mean, he wasn't the darkest.
He was pretty.
You know,
he was
he had a
typical
tan.
Iranian. Yeah.
He had a tan. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, he had a Florida beach tan.
Yes, exactly. So,
But they never mind.
just saying.
Yeah, I mean, being out on I understand the character that played Marty, Brad Renfro, the budget Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
His skin tone, obviously, it made sense because he was a surfer.
Yeah.
He had to be tan.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, when I saw a real picture of Bobby, I was thinking, whoa, okay.
Big difference.
They really white trashed this guy
Yeah.
a lot.
He looked more.
Nick Stahl.
He needed to look more like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vin Diesel would have been a good, good Bobby.
It
but-
would
It's all
be-
about family.
Well, And then it would
Dominic
actually
Toretto plays Bobby Kent plays Nick Stahl in the movie.
family.
Bully.
Go suck this guy. It's all about family.
Go suck this guy.
That's pretty
Jesus.
But there is one thing.
Oh man, that would have been. See that
Oh man, they call me Triple X. Why? Because I make gay porn in the afternoons. Like, okay.
we're making a way better film. Once again, we are casting a way better film here.
Well, speaking of Brad Renfro, he died when he was 25.
Yeah.
Which I believe he was like 20 when he made this. So
Yeah.
or 19 or something like that.
Right.
So, like 5 or 6 years later, after making this movie, he passed away. Basically from drugs and alcohol overdose.
Yeah,
from
it's
what I
almost like
believe.
they were actually really drinking and really smoking in this movie.
Oh well, he was arrested.
I was about to say
he was
this.
arrested during filming.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He tried to steal a yacht.
a yacht.
Yes.
Oh my god.
A yacht of stuff.
Oh
No, he did. He
Come
seriously
on.
tried to steal a yacht.
I will say
The
this.
boat, not a yacht of stuff.
I will say this though about Brad Renfro. He wasn't a bad actor. Like, he was in At Pupil. Do you guys
Yeah.
ever watch that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
The movie is fucking dark.
It is
It's
dark.
a
Way
dark
better
movie.
than this
And
movie,
his
but-
acting in that movie,
Yes.
1,000 times better
Yes.
than in this movie.
I
But
agree.
again, okay, I'm just going to say this, and I mean it with the greatest of intentions for you guys. They are supposed to be who these kids were. If you watch the court documentation of who these kids were, they were yappy little fuckheads who did not have scripts written for them by Hollywood. to be very clear. And Lisa's annoying ass. I agree with you. She's very annoying.
They're just a bunch of white trash kids.
Yes, bored suburbanite kids
Yeah.
from South Florida. That's I think
Well, and
they
that's the
pulled that
sad
off.
thing is
That's
that
the
they
thing.
weren't necessarily white trash either.
No, they were middle class.
They were middle class.
Yeah, they were a bunch of
Well,
middle class.
They had the opportunity.
They wanted to slum themselves
They didn't
down.
have the. They didn't have. To me, from what I see from the movie, they did not have
opportunity.
the. No, they had opportunity.
They didn't have
They
drive.
they didn't have the drive brought on by, to me, lack of parent involvement.
Yeah,
And lack of not just parent involvement but adult involvement in their life, because I don't think any of this stuff, and this is in the movie / real life because it's so damn close. I don't think that I think that if they had some type of adult connection, one of these 7 kids would have went, let me go talk to this adult first.
yeah.
Before we do this stupid thing that I think is stupid, and
Yeah.
and Derek is the main one. Mm-hmm. Derek I feel
Which Derek, by the way?
Derek the cousin Derek, not
Yeah.
the hitman.
Savercolo or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he should have of the group, he would have been the one to go say, Mom, something ain't right.
yeah.
Which he just didn't do because I think he liked Allie. He liked the attention he was getting from the girls in the group.
Yeah.
Because they're manipulative.
Yeah, well, and in true Larry Clark style, kind of going off of what John's saying there, I mean, Kids is very similar. Like, if there was just an adult somewhere in that movie, you wouldn't have the insanity that takes place. You wouldn't have Tully, who's like, I think 19 in that movie, sleeping with a 14-year-old. You wouldn't have the AIDS thing spreading wildly throughout them. I mean, like, it's very much, it's very heavy. It's almost, what it appears to me with Larry Clark is that he makes cautionary tales. That's what I think he does. I think he makes modern, grisly cautionary tales. They're not perfect by any means.
Right.
But in terms of, I mean, especially this story, why has nobody else picked this up? It's a fucking insane story. Like, I agree with you. I would love to see somebody else make the movie. But I would question whether or not they would Hidden Figures it.
Well, I
You know what I'm
don't.
saying? If
Pixar
they-
presents.
Oh God.
I like.
The term-
Inside Out becomes a totally different meaning.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Pixar presents.
We want his insides out, man.
Oh God,
Like-
Jesus Christ.
Nicolas Cage face. Oh,
Yeah, face
Oh,
off.
that's
Nicolas Cage is Marty. Vin
Yeah.
Diesel is Bobby Kent. Good God.
No. Nicolas
like it.
Cage would have to be Lisa.
Yes.
She's
God.
the one who's wanting him killed.
Nicolas Cage in his first transgender role. Okay.
I'm pregnant, man.
I want his insides.
Where you see
out.
my pig. Wrong movie, Nick. Wrong movie, buddy.
Damn it.
Jesus.
Well, Kyle, you wanted to say something about the car. about
Oh
the Mustang.
God. Okay, so yeah,
Whoa.
like when she was saying it was a 5.0 all the
Yes.
time, and I'm like, that's not a 5.0, that's a 6 banger. Quit calling it a 5.0.
You're so hung up
And
on
then-
the weirdest shit sometimes.
And then,
then-
but then Bobby actually says
It's
it's
not
just
a
a 5.0 or something like that.
You
and-
dumb bitch.
You dumb bitch. But I thought I said that in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, did he say that?
Yeah, he called
Like,
her out too.
I'm like, I don't care. I'm not gonna rewind it because I just
Yeah.
want to get through this movie.
There
But-
was quite a bit of when it comes to Bobby in particular, there was quite a bit, man, that just, to me anyway, takes you off guard. Like, they're driving along in the car,
Yeah.
and Allie's flirting with him, and they're, Heather and Donnie are talking to him from the back seat.
It's like, what? Wait, why are you here?
Yeah, he does that. Then
He starts to catch on a little bit.
I don't think he caught on,
Yeah.
but at the same time, he just starts. He lays into them. Then
Well,
he's like, whatever, Feather and Lonnie. Like, what the? I was like, whoa. He's like, you guys are fucking assholes. He's like, what? Your boyfriend back there? Your little bitch boyfriend? I was like, Jesus, this guy deserves to be stabbed in the neck. Like, you're an asshole. But yeah, I mean,
I know he wasn't catching wind that he was going to get killed that night, but he was
yeah.
he was just like, wait, why are these people here on our date type thing?
Yeah, I again, to me anyway, it did a really good job. And this movie was made after, to be clear, before I go any further, this movie was made after their appeals had already taken place, after it had all come out of what they had actually endured psychologically, why this group of kids in South Florida, because at the time when it happened in 93, do you guys remember when this happened?
See, no, I didn't even hear about this.
No.
Oh, see, I remember when it happened, there was like, I mean, everybody in my parents' parent group kind of thing, they were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this was, it wasn't the same time period exactly, but in the 90s, there was all kinds of weird shit. There were like, kids destroying graveyards and stuff, like just random, just viciousness.
It's all about being punk, man.
No, it was worse than that. It was mostly like goth Satanism and stuff like that. But
Yes.
Well, their version of punk.
fair enough. But when they did this in South Florida, I mean, I just remember my parents being like, "What the hell is this world coming to?" Like, there was this group of kids and they killed their friend, and it's insane. There was anyway. So when the appeal took place and their sentences were reduced and all that, and it actually came out that the kid who was murdered was actually the antagonist, was actually the one who, I mean, it wasn't self-defense. These kids planned to murder their friend. There's not
right.
much else you can say
Definitely
about it.
premeditated.
True, but in terms of the psychological torture that he inflicted, the raping that he did, the beating randomly of people in the group, it's kind of like, well, I mean,
Kind of deserved it.
I'm not going to say he deserved it, but yeah, you're kind of an asshole. You know
Or,
what I mean? Like,
at least a good ass kicking.
yeah, minimum, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that Larry Clark snatched it up and went the way he went. Now, did he go too far with some of the sex scenes and stuff? Overall, I don't think so, but I do
Yes.
think so with Bijou Phillips' little vagina shot. I don't think that was necessary. I'm 100% agreement that wasn't
I think
necessary.
I think a lot of it's gratuitous.
I think I think a lot
I
of it
agree.
was way overboard.
I don't think you can accomplish the same thing with a shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You can
when
be
she's
in the
talking
same
all-
you can be in the same bed,
You
but
know,
not butt ass
Well,
naked.
well, there's a scene of Lisa, and it opens up with her. She's obviously laying on her bed. You can see her blurry naked ass cheek in the background behind her face, and it cuts to another shot of her as she rolls over, and she's completely naked. Well, she's alone. It's not. There's nobody
So
else
what was the
there.
purpose there?
What
Right,
was
yeah.
the point?
Yeah.
And then when she's on the phone,
she's shirtless, or
she's
she has no
shirtless
shirt on
there.
that, yeah.
Why?
I don't
And
know.
then there's another shot where you see like full bush on her.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
couple of bush shots.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but I mean,
there's
like,
more than one, yeah.
But I mean, it's
It's
some. I
like,
mean,
why?
yeah, just put even underwear.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or something.
But okay, hold on. I'm not trying to. I agree with you.
Are they trying to say that they're all sexually liberated?
No, I think it's the other thing. I think they're saying that they're oversexed. I think that what he was trying to point out was that they were literally just fucking and taking drugs. That's all they were doing, and then being tortured by this guy. So it was easy to fall into a psychological trap or a culture amongst themselves of like, well, we all trust each other because we banged each other next to each other for the last few months, and now, well, I've got this idea. Okay, well I'm going to make out with you on this bed in a second. Tell me your idea as we're making out. Like, I think it's that. I don't think that
Yeah.
it was for any other purpose. But what I was going to say,
yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I agree with you with the gratuity piece, but there's plenty of that in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Like,
but not this much though.
Okay, as an example?
In one film.
No, hold on. As an example, Fatal Instinct.
Was that your next one?
Sharon Stone. No. Sharon Stone does a vagina shot to the camera.
So does Bijou Phillips.
No,
I
you
know,
actually,
not to the same degree, but
you actually see more on Sharon Stone.
I know.
And another Sharon Stone film, The Specialist, with
if
Sylvester
you're going-
Stallone. There's an 8-minute sex scene in The Specialist in the bathroom, in the shower, that is way too much Sylvester Stallone ass. Now, granted, I can't think of another film that I've watched
but it's
recently.
hard like a rock.
It really was.
It's all about family.
It looked like Mount Rushmore.
Jesus.
Pimples.
Ew.
That's Abraham Lincoln.
I'm just saying it. I am usually not. I don't care about that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I do felt it was a little gratuitous in this, and I thought a lot of it was unneeded.
I
Yeah.
would say the same thing with both of those movies that you brought up.
Okay.
Because I don't mind. I don't think if it's once, okay.
Yeah.
Is it every other time a woman's on camera? I think that needs to stop.
So where do you guys fall on Boogie Nights?
Honestly, I've never seen it.
Really?
Oh, really?
The original ones?
What?
Didn't they remake that?
No.
Like,
No,
a couple times,
I don't
like
think
they
so.
typically do.
Nope. One movie, Boogie Nights.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You get to see Dirk
maybe.
Well, I
Diggler's.
mean-
you get to see Dirk Diggler at the end of that one too.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
but you know
though,
what?
here's the thing about that
Yeah.
though is
Yeah.
his character. They build it up the entire 3-hour movie or however long it is. It
It's
is
a
a long
long-ass
movie.
movie, yeah.
They build it up as him being well endowed.
Yes.
So the entire time you're like, well,
All right, prove it.
Fine, let's see it then.
I wasn't.
Oh, I will. Kind of want to know.
I'm surprised you weren't.
I didn't need to see it. Well,
But then the whole thing is
Yeah.
about the porn industry.
I agree.
So that makes sense.
Well, no, and the whole thing with this is about a bunch of teenagers who are oversexed, overdrugged, and being
Well-
tortured by their friend.
I thought the synopsis was of them getting bullied, not having their experiences on a separate track.
I don't know.
From Bobby.
Listen, I complained about Hidden Figures because it wasn't close enough to the real life. This movie is pretty fucking close to real life. The biggest anachronisms are they moved it forward 6 years. It's supposed to. This is taking place in like 1999 or something like that. And then the few little things like shit, I just lost it. It was something about the who said what at what point, and like Marty not being at Pizza Hut. Like those are the few anachronisms. Other than that, the movie is.
Well, I'll tell you one
literally
scene
written from the court documents. Go
that
ahead.
was well done was the murder scene.
Yeah, fuck
And
yeah.
it was that was I think the icing on top. I was like, okay, this is what the movie
fucking
should be
tense
because it's raw.
Yeah.
It's people that don't really understand what the weapons that they're using do, and so they're like not dramatically putting the knife in or something like that. They're like quick stabbing, and they're like, okay, what was that? Did that kill him?
Yeah.
And they were just multiplying that over and over and over again until he was dead. But then you had all these raw emotions going on. You had Heather in the backseat
Crying in the backseat, yeah.
like going into a mental breakdown. And then you had some other Allie saying, just shut up. This is not happening the way I thought it was going to happen.
And then you have the experienced hitman sitting on the sidelines like a coach going,
Yeah.
no, stab him one more time.
Yeah. All right. So slow.
There
There we go.
There's a lot of it's a lot of shit in that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. What I really like about that scene, it doesn't. In the whole movie, it doesn't romanticize murder the way a lot of Hollywood documentaries
That's
do.
true.
Yeah.
It does make it weighty.
It shows it in the raw.
Well, it doesn't
shows
Ted
it
Bundy
in-
it.
Right.
No, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this is really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really bad thing. I mean, of all the movies that I've ever watched, I think this is the most realistic murder scene that I've watched.
And there were a few things in this movie that are like that, like the date rape scene with Allie. She
That was
voluntarily.
horrible. I got sick to my stomach.
No, me too. But she voluntarily goes back to that bedroom, and she's thinking, okay, well, we're gonna have sex. I'm down. Then he flips on gay porn, and which is fucking weird. Listen, to each his own. I'm not even judging. You like gay porn? You're gay. I have no judgment on that. But it's a little strange to like take this woman back to this girl back to your room and then be like, you want to watch something sexy and then put on gay porn. It's just strange. Like it's a very odd choice, right?
Right.
And then they start, she thinks he's just messing around, and then no, he full on date rapes her, and it's like, that's how that shit happens.
Yeah.
Like on a date, a date situation, you're involved in it, everything's cool, and then suddenly it's not cool, right? There's that scene. There's the
Well, real quick.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So jumping back the gay
Murder
porn
scene?
scene.
Oh, the gay porn
with
scene,
the rape. When he turned that on, there's on the porn. There's like a shot of a guy like laying down. I thought
Larry Clark?
that was no.
No, he probably personally shot that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
go
No, I thought it was Marty.
oh god, yeah, that would be crazy.
I thought because they looked kind of similar.
Yeah,
And it was like a CRT tube,
Yeah.
thing, so it was kind of hard to tell. But I thought it was Marty, and what was going through my head at the time was that Bobby was basically getting off on how much
he was torturing.
torturing Marty.
So he was not necessarily in that scene,
But I don't think that was Marty. On
no,
the
it
tape.
was. It wasn't.
okay,
But I'm
wasn't.
saying in general, he was getting off on how much he
Right.
was torturing Bobby, which is my second thing that I think they do a really good job of. Is when you're watching this movie and, like, for instance, at the very beginning, he pushes Marty's head just into that metal cabinet at the deli,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so quick that you're like, well, that was kind of fucked up. But I mean, it doesn't really dawn on you like, okay, this isn't just somebody who randomly just happened to punch their friend. Like, this kid is mentally torturing this grown man.
Well, physically, yeah.
Physically, well, mentally and physically, yeah, for years. To the point where, I mean, Lisa at one point says he treats him like a dog. That's pretty fucking accurate. You know what I mean? The way that Nick Stahl treats Brad Renfro in this movie, and the way that apparently Bobby Kent, treated Marty Puccio, was less than human.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's extreme. That's hard to fucking capture, is what it is, and
Well,
that's why I like this movie. to be
Well,
honest.
in leading up to the murder scene, since I had no preconceived notions about what the actual story was behind this,
yeah,
I was thinking what was going to happen is either they eventually didn't go through with it, or they tried to and they failed in some way, and they didn't like really kill him or something.
yeah.
I just thought that was what was going to happen, but so when they actually do kill him, it became a shock,
Yeah,
in a good way.
I can
You know
see that.
what I mean.
I do.
In a good filmmaking way that I was happy that happened. But talking about the end real quick.
Sure.
So it did elicit a laugh from me at a point where I don't think you're supposed to laugh.
You're our go-to guy for that. Go ahead.
That's true. It's when Marty's being arrested and
yeah.
he goes out into the cop car at the end, and we see his brother come outside the house. He's got a Dare shirt on.
Yes.
Oh, what?
That was my
Yeah.
second favorite
A
shot.
Dare
He's got
shirt.
the Dare shirt
Oh,
to keep
yeah,
kids
yeah.
off
Yeah.
drugs
Yeah.
And
And
violence.
and violence.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, oh, come on.
I laughed.
I mean, okay. I didn't actually. So two things. One, I didn't catch it, but two, I don't know.
And it was like the first time that the kid had a shirt on.
Well, yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, which, by the way, not to jump off the Dare thing, but did you notice how sweaty they make us look? Like every
Well, it's Florida.
I don't walk around sweating like these kids
Maybe
are
they
sweaty.
didn't have air
I do.
conditioning.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? Never mind. Realistic. 2 thumbs up.
The only thing I could think of was that this is how people think Floridians live.
You really
is we just
captured-
sit around in our
Larry really captured the essence of what it is to be a Floridian.
Oh, my God.
yeah, because we just stand around naked talking to our dads because it's so hot.
That's right.
I will say this: with everyone sweating, I thought it actually did a good job of capturing the heat of Florida without being like every fourth word. It's like hot in here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Do you feel the heat in this room?
When the heat's coming around the corner.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ooh-ah! Look at the ass on that one. Who's that? Yeah, Bijou. Ooh-ah! Anyway, so
Well,
yeah.
one more thing I wanted to mention.
That's my Al Pacino today.
Yeah, right.
Apparently.
So in the scene when all the police officers come in, they ransack Marty's house and all that. One of the police officers is in plain clothes.
Yes.
So
The detective or something.
yeah, he was a detective.
Yeah.
That is actually the detective who actually arrested
No
the real
way.
Marty Puccio.
Yeah, he was a consultant on the film, wasn't he?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I think there were consultants on this film that were from. I mean, because it was literally like 4 years before when this movie was made. So there were people who were brought in that were there.
Yeah,
at the
his
event.
name was Frank Ilaraza.
Ilaraza, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought, to my knowledge anyway, I also was told, or I also read that Larry Clark had like Claudia, the one who was at Pizza Hut, the one who worked at Pizza Hut.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
met with her, and like they did interviews with everyone who like wasn't in jail, and then they used the court documentation on top of that. So it's pretty well researched, shitty movie in a weird way.
And,
Yeah.
and speaking of, that was one thing that that was also inaccurate
about
the film, was that Lisa never did
Tell
go across
Claudia.
the street and tell Claudia.
Yeah.
She didn't snitch.
She didn't.
However, they did tell people,
Yeah, they talked about it
they
to
talked
everybody.
about
Yeah.
it,
Well, I was. Oh.
which to me goes to them needing that connection outside of that group.
I agree with you. Well, I also think it was. I mean, they were kids. Like
Right, absolutely.
Four, I think, of the 7 were 17.
Yeah, they were under 20.
Yeah, and well, they were all except for Marty. They were all under 20.
Yeah.
because even the the hitman was also 20, but the cousin is 18. I think the Donnie, I mean, was only 17. Allie was 17. There's a lot of very odd things with the way it went. Allie did have a baby, I believe. That was true, but she wasn't ever married. I don't know why the fuck they added this weird line about her being married for 3 months. She was 17. So she
Right.
did have a kid, but she wasn't married. There was little odd shit like that they threw in that I didn't like.
When at the very beginning, the Bobby drives Marty and the two girls to a liquor store, and he makes them go out to buy liquor.
Yes.
So it's like, well, if he wasn't 21, then did he have like a fake ID or something?
mean,
We don't know.
Yeah, the ages in this film are
a little
confusing.
Yeah.
fluid.
Yes.
I'm going to call them fluid ages.
Age fluid.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. Overall, though, I do think that the way that he manages to, Larry Clark in this instance, manages to kind of grab this picture of torture, and not just torture from like somebody that you kind of expect to be a torturer, but from a friend, from somebody you're supposed to trust, right? I just think it's interesting. That's all I could say. I mean, the story, I'm guessing he saw the murder and it was just like, holy shit. And then whenever the appeals came out, he was like, holy shit. And then just immediately started researching and trying to make the movie.
It would be interesting to see another director's take on it.
I agree. I
That
disagree.
I'd probably be down to watch.
Starring
at least
Vin
once.
Diesel and Nicolas Cage, apparently.
Yeah, directed by Steven Spielberg. So Kyle,
Schindler's Knife.
well, do you have the budget for How to Not Get Away with Murder?
Yes. Don't snitch.
$10,000.
Yeah, it's actually $2.1 million was the estimated budget.
Wow.
That is
for
way
this.
higher than I thought it was
Yes.
going
That
to be.
is high.
Now I'm getting these numbers from a new website. It's called
Okay.
thenumbers.com.
Okay. Nice.
Where data and the movie business meet.
I've heard
Not
of it.
sponsored.
Yeah.
So I got production budget is 2.1 million, and they actually adjust it for inflation for the overall box office and movie or money made back. So did this thing make its money back?
No.
No.
Not 2.1 million.
Yeah. So you're right. It's $1.3 million.
Yeah.
Almost 1.4.
Which I will say, though, with Larry Clark movies, which I don't know who the fuck is funding them, but if they're going into
Apparently
it to,
Lionsgate.
yeah, but if they're going into it to make money, they're barking up the wrong tree. Like he makes semi-interesting
Edgy.
films, edgy films
Do you
that
know
are
when his last movie was made?
2014.
Yeah, 2014. He's still relevant.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's still making stuff.
Yeah.
Roughly.
I wonder if they're in sex shops.
Well, you know, an
Jesus.
interesting thing about him, he was, prior to making kids,
Yes.
he was a alcoholic and drug addict, and he had made a name for himself, I believe, doing picture books like photography.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
Well, his parents were photographers, famous natural beauty photographers.
So they were hippies, and
Yes.
he's fucked in the head. Okay,
Right,
gotcha.
so he had released a bunch of these books himself, and you know, obviously had some money and, you know, notoriety, but he was addicted to drugs and alcohol, but he wanted to make films, and he knew that no one would give him money, give a drug addict, an alcoholic drug addict, money. So he actually went into rehab, cleaned himself up in order to get funding to make films. So I mean that's pretty respectable.
That
Yeah.
probably explains why he's so like fixated.
Why that theme runs in every single movie.
Yeah,
that he does.
yeah. I mean, he's probably just writing from his own, like, okay, I was fucked up. I was a teenager. I needed somebody. They weren't there, and instead I turned to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah,
That's
except he didn't write this.
No, he didn't. I
No.
thought. Well, who did? It was from the court.
Well, it's from a book.
It's actually a stenographer. Yeah.
It's from a book called "Bully: A True Story of High School Revenge."
Yeah.
Who Jim Schutze wrote that, but the screenplay for this was written by David McKenna and Roger Pulis.
Okay. Interesting.
And I'd have to look up those people to figure out anything else that they've written. But okay. So David McKenna has written some decent movies. He did American History X.
Good movie.
Well, Get Carter. Okay.
I didn't mind
Yeah,
Carter.
it's okay.
I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but
No.
I didn't mind it.
No. Well, okay. That's why I said 2.
Okay.
No, but he did. He did Get Carter, Bully. He did Blow, which is a fantastic
Oh,
movie.
Yeah,
Blow's
I like
good.
Blow.
Wait, hold on a second. Get Carter? Not Get Shorty.
No,
Get Carter,
the
was
one
a
with
remake.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, it was a remake, though, of the Michael Caine movie from the 70s.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah. He did SWAT. Yeah. Cocaine Godmother, which
Yeah.
yeah. And then he's working on something called the Untitled Teddy Roosevelt Project, which is a TV miniseries.
I'm good.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so he made one good movie, American History X, and then this one.
Blow.
Blow was good.
Oh,
yeah.
Blow. I forgot Blow. Blow
Yeah.
was
Blow was
pretty
a-
decent. I don't like Johnny Depp, though. I can't fucking stand Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I just
Well, you're
can't
not
stand
really
him.
into pirates.
No, I'm not really into where the fuck is he from? Anyway.
Kentucky.
Yeah. Sure.
Well,
No, he is.
Oh, I know. That's
He
that's
is
where
from
he is.
Kentucky.
Paris, England, Kentucky. Yes, that's where he's from. Exactly.
I like it.
well, typically I look at Rotten Tomatoes to give like what a critic and the audience scores for this, but Rotten Tomatoes is down right now.
What?
Yeah, they're under maintenance. So I'm just gonna give what IMDb has.
Okay.
So it's a 6.9 out of 10.
Fair enough.
So, Eddie, since this is your movie, you get the honor of scoring first.
Okay, so overall, this movie has flaws, right? I don't find the same flaws that you guys do, but that's fine. At least with the subject matter, I just think that it was for a purpose, so I'm more okay with it. That being said, some of the cinematography I don't like. Like I said, I don't like that group circle shot thing. That was just stupid to me.
Right.
I still don't understand Bijou Phillips' upskirt shot. That wasn't necessary. However, overall, I don't hate the movie. I think that it's, especially from a cinematography standpoint, I like that it's raw. I like that it's sort of showing this one specific picture of this one specific group of people at this one time. I like that. I like that we get to feel at least somewhat who these characters are. Do I think they could have gone deeper? Yes. But I don't think they need to go as deep on Donnie, as deep on Heather. I think they need to spend more time on Lisa and Marty than anybody. And Bobby. I wanted more Bobby, to be honest, before they knifed him to death. The music sucked. I wasn't a big fan of the music. Lisa had like
Well,
her own signature tune, which pissed me off.
Fuck, bitch.
Oh no,
bitch,
no, not
And then they're like turning off the car. I'm like, oh my god.
no, not the music in the movie per se. The score.
What score?
There was a score.
There
Every
was?
time Lisa was on camera and it's like a moment with her and Marty, there's like this high pitched, shitty violin piano thing that plays, and it is not good.
That was just Kyle
Yeah.
whining.
Probably.
No, that was like steam coming off of my head. Like this
Again, I know the problem. It wasn't
terrible.
filmed in black and white in 1922, so I understand the issue, Kyle. Don't worry.
But, you're in luck then because the Region 1 DVD has a special feature where you can listen to just the soundtrack
Yeah, no, I'm good.
and the 6 different rap songs in the first 5 minutes.
So here's what I'll say too. You brought up American History X.
Yeah.
To me, American History X is a great movie. I think it's an awesome movie. Very similar to this in a lot of ways. Especially if you look at things like the addition of shitty music. If you look at it, as this one very specific picture of this one very specific time of this group of kids who happen to be misfits. You know what I mean? I think that I like American History X. It's probably one of my top 25 movies or 35 movies. 55. It's in the top 155 movies for me. 600 movies, top 600. Anyway, that being said, with this movie, again, not perfect, but I do like it overall. I would say it's a 4.3.
Okay, a
Yep.
4.3 for Eddie.
Wow.
Yes, because they did a better job than Hidden Figures.
Ouch. Okay.
Yep.
It's actually lower than I thought you'd be on it.
Really?
That's actually higher than I thought. But all right.
Well, Kyle, it's your turn.
Yeah, let's bring this home a little bit for me. There was only 2 shots or two scenes that I liked in this movie, and that was the murder scene and the very end of the credits. Of course the Dare kid.
shirt.
That was placed really well. So cinematography non-existent. It's looked like a handy cam. It was shot on film, but it looked horrible.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was shot on 35 film.
It looks
35
kind
millimeter.
of flat to be.
Yeah, I think it was on 35 millimeter. Yeah, but but it could have been in
It looks
digital.
video-ish.
Yeah, it
is
could have
what-
been digital,
yeah,
but
most likely.
for being 2000, doubt it.
Yeah.
But the there's no. I didn't even hear the soundtrack.
The score?
The score.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean,
No.
I'm listen.
Because
fully
there
accepting the
were
score
certain
sucks.
scenes that I'm like, this could add a little bit of music. This why isn't some music in here? But it was just conversation back and forth. But I was like, okay, whatever. Not a really huge fan of rap music, so that kind of turned me off.
Jesus.
But I guess the first thing that I thought of was it's gross. It's got a shit ton of bad acting. The camera was terrible, and the soundtrack was unbelievably bad. I would actually watch Cool World and Brazil on a back-to-back night feature before I actually watch this movie again.
That's like 5 hours.
Listen, I can't even be mad at him for this because 90% of the movies he picks, I would shit out with The Devil's Reign. So there's not much. I mean, lean into it, buddy. You're good.
Yeah,
I
so
get it. I get it. We can share in this moment. Go ahead.
The GIF that I actually sent to, I think it was Justin, was Clockwork Orange, with the guy got his eyelids
Yes.
pinned back.
Yeah.
That was me watching this movie. I was just like, okay, this is torture.
I hope to get another one in 4 movies. Go
Yes, this is excellent. I think you hit a new low with me, Eddie. And I'm going to rate this a 0.2.
ahead. Okay. Nice.
Okay, Kyle gives it a 0.2. So, John.
Well, I was half kidding earlier, gentlemen, when I said that this might be a Congress moment on our show. But the movie is disturbing, to say the least. It's disturbing to watch, and I truly did. I felt sick to my stomach in some scenes, and I had to go to my happy place, close my eyes, and go to my happy place to calm myself down.
Movies
no,
shouldn't do that.
No.
No.
See, I disagree. I think movies should.
But
go
no,
ahead. Yeah.
it's an opposite feeling of what we're used to feeling.
Yes.
We're used to feeling happy. We're used to feeling sad or happy cry, sad cry, this or the other. Not the feeling of uneasiness, which to me is a sign of a good film. It makes you feel.
Yeah, it's supposed to elicit emotions. Yeah.
Right. I really am worried now that I'm not doing enough to know my own child. So I'm going to be more hyper vigilant now because of this movie.
Oh, you're not going to open the door to their room and see 16 kids all half naked lying on a bed and go, okay,
hold
just
on.
make
Have
sure
a good
you're-
day.
make sure
I
you're
don't mean to
okay.
interrupt you. I got to say this real fast. If I told you the number of times that exact situation happened when I was a kid, you'd be disturbed.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
probably would be,
middle
too.
school alone, I can think of no less than 8 times that exact scene was taking place in a room, and we all were like, ha, 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 jerk off this, tits that, etc., and the door flipped open. Hi, Miss J. I mean, it happened multiple times. So yeah, I'm with John. Like, I agree completely. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
But no, that's okay. It never happened to me because girls weren't allowed in my room.
Oh, I was a bad
That
kid.
was it.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
that's just what it was when I was growing up. Of course, I was raised by my grandparents, and they different time.
Yeah,
different
it was
upbringing.
it was the Great Depression in John's house all the time.
Up until
You
yesterday.
think you're kidding? You think you're kidding?
I'm not, bro.
I didn't know there was such a thing as new clothes when I was growing up. I thought you had to go buy them used at the.
They make shirts in
the
something
thrift shop.
other than plaid.
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know there was anything but country music until I was in middle school.
We got country and western music here.
But I as a parent, I'm going to be more hyper vigilant. It's sad to me that this movie is based on a true story. I feel sad for the real life parents involved, and even to this day, most of those kids still have no remorse for their actions. They still, a lot of the ones who are out, they're like, we just thought we were going there for a fight. We didn't realize this was going to happen, and they feel no culpability whatsoever for Bobby Kent's murder. Yet I feel sorry for them, because I can't help but think that if they had a more open line of communication with their parents or an adult or someone else, of authority in their life, that this stuff would not have happened. I do not believe the director had the intention of making a blockbuster hit or even an entertaining film. It's not a cinematic masterpiece, but it tells a story that and lays it at your feet, and it's unapologetic, and it's raw, and it's broken, and I can sincerely respect that. And I am going to give this film, don't hate me, Kyle, an 8.
Wow,
an 8 for John. Okay. So I did not really enjoy it. The best scene to me was, like we said, the murder scene. Mm-hmm. What it feels like to me is like that was when they got everything together to ready to start shooting this movie. They're like, okay, we really want to do this murder scene. That's like high impact. That's the first thing they did, and they shat all over the rest, because that was
the $2 million scene, and then the rest of it was the
It felt like they had a lot of heart and a lot of gumption and a lot of vigor. I don't know what else to say about it.
I don't want to disrupt you on this, but I will say this: I don't think that scene has the heart and all that stuff that you're talking about without that exposition. I don't think if you don't see Bobby being, torturing Marty, etc. I don't think if you see all that you have any heart once you get to that murder scene.
No, you're right, but the other stuff feels lazy to me.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like,
dude, I just gave it a 4 or 5. Like, you don't have to justify much. I'm with you.
I'll just refer to the 8 rap scenes at the beginning. It keeps getting more and more now that I think about it.
The 64 rap songs.
Yeah, the 64 rap songs at the first 5 minutes. Yes. Yeah. I didn't really think the acting was all that great. I kind of like Brad Renfro a little bit, and I kind of like Nick Stahl a little bit. I like their interactions. I could feel like this guy hated Nick Stahl, or Bobby, I should say. And there were a couple of things that made me kind of question. I like, when I'm watching a narrative movie like this, I like to try to, my brain is always constantly working, trying to go, okay, I think this might happen, or based on these reactions and all that. So this did have me kind of guessing a little bit, and it turned out I was wrong, which I do enjoy. So in that aspect, I did like that. It wasn't predictable. I always kind of quote rewatchability. I'll never watch this again. I don't really have any reason that I think I would want to. I do think I would like to see another director try it and see what it comes out to be, like we were talking about earlier. So anyway, I think I'm going to give it probably a 1.5, I think. So with that means that Bully comes out to be a 3.5.
I'm okay with it.
It's math, so I'm with it.
Yeah, it's absolute.
Yep. So with that means that we need to spin the wheel between Kyle and I, right?
That's right.
By the way, I do want to just say one more thing before we pick the next movie. This is not the most extreme film on my list. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
So at least I left with 0.1 there.
I'll tell you what, Eddie. I do enjoy watching movies I haven't seen before. So that I do enjoy. I
agree. I mean,
so that is good.
I would have never picked this up whatsoever.
No, I don't think any, but I mean, shit. Most people in their right mind wouldn't pick this movie up.
It's almost like, getting, all your fishing gear up and your boat's ready to go, and you go out in the ocean, and then you have a horrible time. It rains, you puke, you basically are almost dead from sharks.
Yep.
But then you live, and you're able to tell your story, and you're like, you know what? That was a fun time.
Remember that time we almost died?
I was actually closer to John's interpretation of it. Like, again, I think it's like watching a fishing movie where that shit happens, and you go, you know what? This actually makes me appreciate the people that I'm around more, and it makes me appreciate that. In a weird way, I like seeing things that are real. And in this instance, I feel like that, Larry Clark anyway was able to show I agree
How
with you.
twisted people can get.
Yes, but not just that. Like I agree with you on the acting, but then at the same time, I don't agree with you on the acting. It's really weird. Like I don't feel like I'm watching actors act, and yet that's the mark
exactly
of
what you're doing.
But it's the mark of a really good actor. Whenever you don't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were to show me another movie with Brad Renfro, I'd have to think about it for a second and almost disassociate him from this character.
Well, so earlier...
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, earlier you said that you watched footage of the court and stuff of this.
Yes.
I'm wondering if that is clouding your judgment.
Because I did absolutely no research on this.
Hold on. What do you mean in terms of what?
Well, you seeing the court footage and
how they were.
and how they...
But it was after the fact. Like, I've seen this movie 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I watched it for the show because you guys make me watch the movies for the show even when I've seen the movie fucking 300 times.
You know, refreshes your memory.
Bullshit. You guys, I mentioned The Patriot. I'm like, I've seen The Patriot no less than probably 50 times.
But then you forgot a couple of names. So
well, because I don't fucking care about names.
Well,
I'm like Justin over here. Who's who? Feather? What? Heather? Lonnie? Donnie?
They're all the same character in this.
Character.
They're not the same at all. Anyhow, but no, I didn't watch that footage. I watched the footage because actually the first few times I watched this, I didn't realize it was a true story. And then whenever, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th time I watched it, I was like, wait, it's a true story? And then I went and did the research on it, but I didn't watch the court stuff. For the show, I watched the court stuff, and I was like, holy shit, they actually managed to capture just how vapid these kids are and just how like shitty they are. That arguing scene at the end where they're bickering with each other in the box, that's really, as John just pointed out, like that's who these people are. Like they share no guilt in it. It's literally a bunch of them pointing fingers at the other going, well, you actually did it. You're the one going to burn in hell. Right. Like they have no remorse. It's insane. It's just insane. So I apologize. We can go back to this. No. Next movie.
Okay, so it's between Justin and Kyle.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here comes Disney.
Or film noir.
Oh God, please no.
Justin. It's gonna be Justin.
Yeah.
You survive another week.
I hate film noir.
I might pick film noir.
The wheel might pick film noir, not you.
No, I mean, it could be any genre.
It can be any genre.
That's what I'm saying. Let's roll it. Let's fucking find out what film noir we're watching this week.
You know the one person that hasn't gotten film noir yet, Eddie.
Yeah, because there's nothing good in film noir. It's a dead fucking genre. You can't make a film noir today.
Okay.
To be clear, the last film noir was made in 1955. You can't make one today. It's a dead genre. Screen Riot,
You
please
can't make
will.
it. You can't make an '80s film because
You can
it wasn't made
parody
in the
it.
'80s.
You're right, but we don't have 80s film as one of our genres.
I know, but
So you made no. I love you, Kyle. Go ahead, John, please.
All right, I'm gonna spin the wheel now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
There's so many genres. Film noir. Go ahead, John. Laugh it up.
Action adventure.
Okay, that's good.
the original Bill and Ted. No, just kidding.
You know what? At least it would be better than Face the Music.
Yeah,
At least we have that.
for sure.
I don't think you need to cut these, by the way, whenever we actually have a real conversation.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Thanks for ruining my edit.
Nah, you're fine. Leave it in. Who gives a shit?
It was perfect until now.
If you want to hear, no, hold on. If you want to hear the whole uncut thing, join the Patreon. By the way, we have a Patreon. So if you're new to listening, join Patreon. How do you get there, Kyle? I don't know how to get there.
Well, you just go to patreon.com/screenwrite, I think. Yeah.
Oh, and then you just search us up, and then you join a tier.
I think that's the actual.
What are our
link.
tiers now?
I think it's just like a.
I like how nobody actually knows.
Oh,
We have like director and the congressman and
no,
No.
I think it's grip, cinematographer, and director or something like that.
okay. So join one of those tiers, and then you can hear the uncut version. It's
3,
like
5, and 10.
Yeah, any of our tiers can listen to the uncut.
it's just
version.
like Nick Stahl in this movie that we just watched. Uncut.
And raw.
Raw.
Raw dog. Okay. You know what? I'm going to pick a guilty pleasure of mine.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Dangerously
Here
2.
we go.
Demolition Man.
Okay.
We really don't need to. I can just quote the whole fucking movie now. Let's just do that.
And go.
He doesn't know about the seashells.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh my God, please no.
Yup. It's from 1993, I believe, right? But it's an action sci-fi thriller. It stars Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, and Sandra Bullock. The description of it is a police officer is brought out of suspended animation in prison to pursue an old ultra-violent nemesis who is loose in a non-violent future society.
Perfect.
Let's go to Taco Bell.
Yes. Something in the valley, the valley of the jolly green giant. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just wanted to pick something to return the favor to Eddie.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely did. It's up there with this is in the bottom 100 of movies for me of all times.
Good, then it should be a good conversation.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine too, Justin.
They called him the Demolition Man. Oh God. Talking about, by the way, I better hear all the same shit out of you guys. Okay, I better hear script and the fucking dialogue in this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, it's not a great movie.
It's so bad.
It's it's a ridiculous premise, and
God.
I don't know, but it is a fun movie.
It's Sylvester and Wesley Face the Music is what this movie is. But okay, let's do it.
it's Rocky and tax evasion.
It's Rocky and Blade.
Yeah,
Rocky and Blade.
Wild Stallions.
Jesus. Okay, I think we're about done.
So if you want to join along at home, go to justwatch.com, look up Demolition Man so you can catch the movie, and we'll review that next Saturday. So thanks for listening.
See ya.
Later.